Robert, Chester, how are you guys?
Hello.
Hey.
Fantastic. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too
How
bad.
you guys doing up there?
All right. We're doing well. How are you guys doing?
Great.
We wanted to play a little bit of Interstate Love Song from Los Angeles when you guys were out playing. And this seemed to be when we found out that, Chester, you were going to be singing with the group. How did this happen?
Well, from my perspective, can you guys hear me okay? Sorry about that.
We got you.
From my perspective, it was as simple as showing up to a venue one day on tour with Linkin Park, and one of my colleagues saying, hey, the guys from STP, they're moving forward without Scott, and they wanted to know if you would be interested in doing this with them. And it was quite simply an instant yes. And within a couple of weeks, when I got home, we all got together, shook hands and high-fived and hugged and made plans. And, 3 weeks later, we were playing a show, and we had a brand new song mixed and mastered and an EP on the way, So it was just a blaze of awesomeness is what happened.
And Robert, from your point of view, how did it happen?
He said it perfect. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened, and that sounded pretty darn good.
Sounded real good.
Yeah,
man. That was an exciting day for us all. We were really had a lot of butterflies and things going around that day, and yeah, that was fun. It sounded good.
Because we try to think of it as almost like a football team, right? Where they're looking for somebody to replace the star quarterback. So you're watching a lot of film. You were looking at other bands.
Listening to tapes.
You're doing research. Was that a little of it, Robert?
We were focusing less on. I guess the mentality is the same, but the reason for looking at film is to see what you've done in the past and correct it for the future, right? And for us, it was all about the future. We all we focused on was, creating new music and making sure that when people found out that we were doing this, that we had a song to back it up. The last thing we wanted to do was announce that this is what we're doing, and then a year later release a record. So at that point, up to the day of that show in LA, we had to keep everything secret. We couldn't be seen eating together in public. It was like. It was just kind of funny, and so for us, this was like the big day of letting everyone know what we were up to, and I think it took a lot of people by surprise, and it definitely got people's attention, and thankfully we played really well on those first two shows. Now that we've done our first North American tour, I would say that the shows just kept getting better and better. Each time we went out and performed.
I got to say, by all accounts, a pleasant surprise. I know as Reagan just played the cut, when we first heard you, we're like, wow, that sounds really great. And we've checked out some of the new stuff, High Rise out now, and that stuff sounds great. So what's it mean for the future? Are you still doing Linkin Park stuff? Is it all full-time Stone Temple Pilots? How's this going to work?
I would say it's full-time both. It does mean I have to do a lot more stuff than I had to do before. But, I'm in the studio with Linkin Park. I'll actually be going there later today, and we're working on a new record. We have some shows that are going to be coming up early next year, I think, and I have shows with SDP through March already booked. So, it's a matter of just making sure that, when I'm available to either, I need to give 100%. And so, I know that this coming year is going to be a very Linkin Park heavy because, we're making a new record. We'll be launching a world tour. So it's really important for us in STP to make sure that when we're together, we really focus on our time and we focus on our productivity, which I don't think is going to be a problem considering that we've got probably 15 to 20 more things to work on already. So, things are good.
Chester, Robert, it's Stone Temple Pilots, and we're talking about that. We'll play a little bit of the new This Out of Time. Robert, what's Chester bringing to this?
Man, he added 10 years to my life. This is a new chapter in STP. It really is. That's what it feels like. And this is I don't know if it's a second chance. I mean, all of us musicians kind of have 9 lives. I don't know whether it's the 5th, 6th, or 7th chance. But, just from what we were talking about before, I think there's a lot of doing. There's not a lot of talking about things right now. And, I think the 4 of us like doing. And that's what it's all about, man. It's about doing. It's about, writing music and going out and playing shows and giving fans and giving people, what we're really all about. It's less drama and more rock and roll, man.
Oh, and obviously he brings a lot of credibility to the table. I mean, a lot of bands find new singers, they're unknowns. I mean, you've got a guy with a great band already going, but how does that, for you guys, dealing with having to share him? I know in the past sometimes solo projects weren't always a positive thing.
It's fine. Chester isn't going to admit it, but it's really a judge of his character as a human being. He's perfectly capable of doing this and having, Linkin Park as a priority and having STP as a priority too. I think like Chester said it perfectly. We utilize our time wisely, and with that mentality, we get a lot done, and that's really what it's all about.
Chester, you better hit the gym, man. You're going to need some longevity on that one. Get some wind under you. Work out.
I'm going to say that sharing a guy with another band beats sharing a guy with rehab in jail. So that sounds pretty good.
Or just sharing a guy.
Yeah.
Chester Bennington, Robert DeLeo, Stone Temple Pilots. All right, finally, last thing. Tell us about Black Heart and what Black Heart is all about.
Black Heart's a great song. When we were writing, between Robert and Dean, I mean, these guys just they wake up and they just come up with the greatest riffs. I mean, it's like the easiest stuff to write over. In terms of being, able to create melody over something that invokes the melody. And so, this song, when Robert came to the table with this track, it was just this really high energy feeling riff, and it was funny, but I think we all knew that this was going to be a really important track for the EP, and had potential to be the second single. And crazy enough, that this one tortured me the most in terms of writing lyrics. The melodies came pretty easily, but the lyrics were something that I wanted it to feel very rock and roll and paint a picture and be a great rock song. And this one went right down to the wire. I think I finished recording my last vocal at 3:45, or we finished at 3:45 a.m.
A.m. Yes.
And then I had to be in Burbank to start rehearsal with Linkin Park by 11 o'clock that morning.
I was leaving for a plane at 7:30 that morning.
Wow.
Yeah, and so and then I did 2 days of rehearsal and went on tour with Linkin Park. Already exhausted. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and I think this song really is. Even though it's very dark and twisted lyrically, I think it feels like a fun song to listen to, and so we're really proud of it.
Robert, Chester, great luck with STP. Thanks for coming on the show. Good luck.
Thank you so much.